back to my channel, and if you are new here then welcome as well. This is only my second video, so my channel is still quite small, but today's video I am going to do my top 10 favourite sewing patterns on my dressmaking journey so far. So I've only been sewing since 2019, a couple of years. I actually used to sew when I was quite little. I started sewing when I was about 7 or 8. I had my first sewing machine, but I only used to make like peg bags, and I just used to mess around on it. To be honest, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't have anybody to really teach me. My Aunt Mary was a seamstress, but sadly she passed away when I was quite young. So a lot of people in my family feel that I get that sewing streak from her. But I didn't have any direction in terms of learning to sew and garment sewing when I was young. So I picked it up in 2019 and it's literally just taken over my life. I sew pretty much every day, and if I'm not sewing, I'm thinking about sewing. So, which is another reason for starting this vlog, because it's given me an outlet for some of these bursting ideas that are constantly up inside my head. So without further ado, I am going to start off with a pattern that was actually in my last video, if you watched that, which is the So Simple, the Batwing Dress. I was wearing that in the last video, so if you want to go back and have a look at that, you'll see me wearing it. I've actually made 2 versions of this and I've got a third planned. This is as it says, a batwing dress. It's got grown on sleeves and it's cut all as one. The only downside is that you do need quite a lot of fabric for this pattern. I normally use about 3 meters. Could get it out of 2.5 if I made it a bit shorter, but it is really easy. So if you can get hold of 3 meters of fleece back, Colville usually do a lot of fleece backs on their Sunday sale for around £15, so it's quite a cheap make if you can get the right fabric, and it's a really good pattern for beginners if you haven't done much with knits before, because you just, like I say, you cut it out flat, sew down the sides, put the cuffs on, put the neck on and hem it. And so it's a really quick and easy make, and it's a really good make if you've lost your sojo and you want a quick return make that's going to give you that bit of a boost. Number 2 on my list is actually a free pattern. It's called the Copen pattern, and it's from Anika from Made to Sew. I've watched quite a few of her YouTube videos, and she does a lot of tutorials on how to get certain techniques right. She does a bit of fitting, different things like that. It's really good channel to follow, especially if you're just starting out. Like I say, this is a free pattern. It's just a shift dress, but it's a really good pattern to start with if you want to do some pattern hacking, or you want to practice some alterations for bust adjustments, things like that, because she does a lot of her tutorials using that pattern as well. I've only made one of those. It fit me straight out of the packet, but I didn't put in the darts because I just wanted almost like a t-shirt dress but in a woven fabric. I actually used a African wax print that I'd gotten off eBay, and I'll insert a picture here for you to have a look at. Yeah, it fits me really well. I will have another go in some different types of fabric, and I am going to put the darts in next time just to give it a bit more shaping. So the third pattern on my list is a pattern by Mac. This is the paper bag pants pattern. Again, this is a PDF, so you just buy it online and it's an instant download, cut out and stick together. The instructions with Mac are really clear. They give you loads of pictures and walk you through everything. This is a pattern to be used with stretch fabrics, and I've made a black pair for work out of a ponte knit fabric, which is ridiculously comfortable. They feel like secret pyjamas, and I'll insert a picture here for you to have a quick look at those. Fourth pattern on my list I mentioned again in my last video. This is the McCall 7575, and it's just a basic shirt pattern. It's got front and back darts, and you can make it in 3 different lengths, like a standard high hip, a lower hip and sort of a tunic length, and it's also got short sleeves, sleeves with cuffs, or the sleeves that roll up and they've got the little fabric hook with a button on to keep them rolled up. This is a really good pattern. I said in my last video, I haven't had a shirt pattern that I can just go to, cut out, and I know will fit until I've got this one. So I made this up in a really cheap fabric from Pound Fabrics. Fits me perfectly, even with the darts sewn. So I think I could also use this pattern and not sew the darts, so it would just be a looser fitting pattern, but you still know it's going to fit you in the shoulders and in the arms and things like that, and you have the option then of having a nice fitted shirt or a looser shirt if you decided not to sew the darts on. It's also a palmer pletch pattern, and it means that they give you extra fitting guidance. So on the actual pattern pieces themselves, they've drawn on, there's printed on even, extra lines where you would cut or trace to cut for full bust adjustments, high round shoulder adjustments, bicep adjustments. The lengthening and shortening lines are already on there, and there's a full 2 pages of instructions on different alterations that you can make. So I couldn't do a top 10 sewing patterns video without mentioning Tilly and the Buttons. So I've got all 3 Tilly and the Buttons books, but I'm just going to pick one pattern from the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, and I've got one pattern next which is from the Make It Simple book. So the one from the stretch book, there's loads in here that I absolutely love, but the one that I go to the most is the Freya sweater dress. So it's just so versatile. You can make this with the mock neckband, you can make it with a roll neckband. They teach you how to make it with a cowl neck. I haven't done that yet, but it's definitely on my list to make. And then, so the next one, like I say, is from the Make It Simple book. And again, so many patterns in here I haven't got round to yet, but so many patterns I absolutely love. And this is the Tabitha t-shirt one. And I've picked this one not just because it's a t-shirt, which is a basic that everybody you know tends to make eventually. It's because of the drawstring dress. So they show you how to adapt the pattern to make a long version or a mid version, or like a maxi version. I've done the mid version. I'll pop a picture in if I can find one. And I just absolutely love that. I think that'll be perfect for summer, even in the winter as well. If you made it in the right colour, it's just one that you can just chuck on, pair of tights and a coat, really comfortable. The next pattern on my list is the Sew Over It Libby shirt, and I've made 2 for myself. The first one I made, I'll pop a picture in. It's in some pink fabric with a load of lips all over it. It was the first one I made as a wearable toile. It's a tiny bit short for me, although it's supposed to be slightly cropped high hip level. I don't like them that length, so the neck, I will still wear it, but the next one that I've made, I have actually added an inch or an inch and a half just onto the length, just to make it more comfortable for me to wear. And I'll pop a picture in of my other version that I've made for that one. So, I can't remember what number we're on now. This is the next one on my list. This is the Friday Pattern Company Ilford Jacket. I have only made a wearable toile up in this so far, but I've got some white corduroy fabric that I'm going to make another version in. It's like an ivory white that I had from Pound Fabrics, which I think will look really nice with some big brown buttons on. So I'll quickly show you the wearable toile that I've made so far. This is my Ilford Jacket wearable toile. I've made it with some, added some large brown buttons on. I chose to do the placketed sleeve, and I didn't put the top pockets on, I just went for the larger pockets at the bottom. This is in a size small. It's oversized enough. I did contemplate making the medium, but I didn't want it to be too big. So the 9th pattern on my list is the Cardigan Pinafore. I've only just purchased this. I'm a little bit late to the party with this one. So this is a pinafore or a skirt with some front pockets. It is fully lined, although you could probably leave off the lining for the skirt if it was a thicker fabric. I've only made one of these, and it was some fabric left over from the Ilford Jacket that I made that I've just shown you. So I'll pop a quick picture in here to show you what that one looks like. The main reason I made a toile for that was just to get the fit right. It is a little bit snug in the bodice. I think if I went up a size it might be a little bit too big, so it's okay. And if I just wear a thin roll neck jumper underneath, it's still comfortable. So I'll definitely be making another one of those, probably using that grey baby cord that I mentioned in my previous video. So that's number 9. So the final pattern in my top 10, which is number 10, but it's actually number 1 because it's my go-to dress pattern and shirt pattern. It's a 2-in-1. So this is the Stella Raglan shirt and shirt dress by Named Patterns. This is a PDF, so I've printed this one out. This is what I've got on now. Just quickly stand up to show you. So I've made it, I don't know if you can see, in a sort of above the knee length, and it's got like a pussy bow blouse style front. It's fully lined, and the skirt is also lined as well. The pattern is actually for a full length sort of ankle grazer style dress. I have got one of those, and I'll pop a picture in here. I made one of those and wore it on Christmas, not just gone, the Christmas before, and I absolutely love it, but that length skirt doesn't really suit me that well, and I always feel like I'm wearing 10 meters of fabric. So although I love it, I wouldn't necessarily make that length again. I prefer this length. And I've also made a black version, which I'll just quickly show you now. This is the black one that I've made. Again, length just above the knee. This is also lined in a black satin fabric, and it's made in a black triple, I think it's a triple crepe. It feels quite thick, but yeah, I just love the bow detail. I love the elasticated cuffs and the elasticated waist as well. So yeah, definitely a pattern I will be making plenty more of. So thank you for watching. If you like what you've seen so far, make sure to give my channel a subscribe, click the notification bell so you can hear more from me. Thank you again for watching, and see you again soon. Bye bye.